What's good with your team, Tommy? Nah, I'm not. No. I'm sorry, fellas. Hold on, let me see if this even works too. Bro, the past few videos, I got a new lead. I got a new setup, so like I'm trying to get the volume right. Today we got making a case, Larry Bird. I'm assuming that means making a case he's the GOAT. I can't lie, bro. After the past couple reaction videos, I am starting to think that Larry Bird is my GOAT. Sorry, I'm parched. We're sipping on Pepsi from City Barbecue today. This is not an ad. You guys like City Barbecue? Listen. If you guys have a City Barbecue where you're from, two things you guys got to get. The Nashville hot sandwich. It's a chicken sandwich. They douse a chicken breast and some I don't know what the pepper is, or with the like spicy I don't know what it is, but it turns into a crispy chicken sandwich. And if you do like it, me personally, I get it on the side. I can't lie, especially because like sometimes I don't eat it right away. I kind of like that's besides the point. But they put slaw on it. They also have like a Nashville hot sauce that they put on the bun, and then it's pickles. What else? Oh, and then the more cowbell, so if you guys have a Cane's around you too, I mean, I know other places got it. Well, I don't know. I'm assuming, but so they take Texas toast, and then they put a little bit of horseradish on it. Now, if you're not even a fan of horseradish, it's still slap. You still got it. It's still slap. Then you can either get brisket or turkey on top of that, and then they put onions and peppers, bell peppers. Now I can't lie, I do be pulling the onions off because bro, they kind of stack that shit. They kind of stop for that. I need to stop cussing. Hold me accountable, Team Tommy. But I said stop. I take off the onions, and then they put cheese, and then they put crispy onions on it too. I don't take off the crispy onions though. The crispy onions be slapping. But then they put the other piece of Texas toast on top of that, make that a sandwich. And then what you gotta do, you gotta take that top Texas toast off. You gotta put you gotta either put the sweet, the brush fire, or if you're an original guy, you gotta put the original barbecue sauce, or the sweet or brush fire barbecue sauce on top of it. Oh my. But it's delicious. It is slap. It is slap. Bro, one thing for my Muslim brethren. Yo, listen. If you guys like the Chipotle chicken, there's a reason. They put pork in. They put pork in it. Oh, that's funny, but not funny. Okay, Team Tommy, we're getting on a crazy. This is. Let's just get into the reaction. I'm going a little too. I got ADHD, if you guys don't know.
Special. The size of the court and the lack of pads or helmets give fans the most intimate experience of a team sport that exists. And because of the different styles that basketball...
Before we start, yo, Team Tommy. Y'all gotta understand, yes, I might be talking, but bro, I'm wearing headphones, bro. I can hear everything that the dude is saying. I can hear everything that the announcers are saying. I can hear everything. So while you guys are talking about, oh, you talked over this part, or you talked over that part, bro, go watch the original video if you couldn't hear it, and if you want to hear it. I could hear it. No diss, no shade.
Basketball is special. The size of the court and the lack of pads or helmets give fans the most intimate experience of a team sport that exists. And because of the different...
Well, I guess you are closer to a basketball court compared to a football field, like a soccer field. If you're from America.
Different styles that basketball allows for, players develop their own distinct identities and signature styles through their creativity, flair, and athleticism. And although no player succeeds alone, the scoring volume and two-way nature of the sport give individual stars a nearly unprecedented amount of control over the flow and outcome of a game. For this reason, players are constantly compared to their peers.
I can't lie, Dame hasn't really been... I can't say he hasn't been doing his thing because he's still playing decent. But he's not the same Dame Lillard that was on the Blazers as he is on the Bucks right now. Because he's on the Bucks.
Into the legends of the past
in
order to answer the most hotly contested question in the sport. Who's the greatest to ever do it? For many, the question is redundant. They believe in only one right answer, their answer. Others might have their own personal stance, but acknowledge one or two alternatives. But I believe that there's much more nuance to the question of greatness and more answers to it than you might think. By my count, there are 8 players in NBA history that have a substantial claim as the GOAT. It's a subjective thing though. I can't give you a definitive answer. All I can do is make the argument. So today, I'll be making the case for Larry Bird as the greatest basketball player of all time.
Let's get it!
When it comes to basketball, Larry Bird is the smartest, clutchest player to ever play the game. Now, if you don't think that Larry Bird is the greatest basketball player of all time, you probably hate that I just said that. Those are the kind of talking head sport cliches that surely impact the game, but are impossible.
Hold on, before he keep going, bro, I like Skip Bayless, I can't lie. I do like Skip. I like him. And this is bro, I've even liked him when I was. Keyword was. I'm not a LeBron fan. Some of you guys in the comments try to say I'm a LeBron fan still. And like you guys talk about this, and that. Bro, I'm not a LeBron fan, bro. I don't care about LeBron. I don't like LeBron. LeBron can just he can kick rocks. But I like Skip. I like Skip. And the thing too, I mean, Twitter and like Instagram, I feel like they didn't even watch the show. But on Undisputed, bro, him and Shannon had a good relationship, and like there were times like, bro, they did things for the media. Like, I really don't think Skip was disrespecting him, and I really don't think he was disrespecting Skip. And on top of that, bro, like like Shannon was like, I mean, I personally wish he would have stayed on the show forever, and I wish it would have been those two forever. But it comes to a different point where like nobody said this, but like there's a slight chance he asked for more money and they weren't willing to give him more money. And then there's also a slight chance that like, bro, he wants to branch out, get a new audience. He wants to bring people to Club Shay Shay. Like, but I think it's completely fine because even the Undisputed cast now, you got Michael Irvin, Keyshawn Johnson, and Richard Sherman. But I like it. I like it. I can't lie. Now, granted, I've never been really like a first take guy. I did actually know that's cap, bro. I used to love Max Kellerman, bro. I used to love Max. But like now, I mean, I don't really watch. I'm gonna keep it like I don't have a problem with Stephen A, but I don't really watch Stephen A that much. I don't really watch him that much. I like Skip though. I like
to
Skip.
Empirically measure. Normally, I'd agree with you, but I think that when you talk about Larry Bird, you see those intangibles become real, palpable results. I wouldn't have said it if I didn't believe it. When Larry Bird was drafted by the Boston Celtics in 1978, the NBA needed saving. Attendance was in the toilet, the league had few marketable stars, cocaine addiction had several players in its grasp, and most damning of all, playoff games were being tape delayed. Playoff games at the highest...
People definitely are still crackheads. Like, he said people were just doing coke and shit like that. Like, I need to stop cussing. But he said they were doing it like they don't still do it today. Like, right? And even like, I mean, some people may have a different opinion. Me, bro, marijuana is a drug. There are people that literally get high before every single game, bro. So
level
like,
of basketball were being put in the back seat for black
me
and white
personally,
movies
as
and
an
network
owner,
reruns. But
as an owner, I would rather my player on coke than weed. Weed, I mean, I guess it might help your body out depending on who you are. It's kind of just an excuse to keep smoking, I can't lie. That's what an addict would say. But like, bro, somebody on coke, antsy. They're going to catch a body on somebody. Somewhere on weed. Oh, I missed the shot. But that's why today's NBA is not the same as the NBA back then. It was definitely more physical back then. And I feel like, bro, they're saying that the pace is faster today than it used to be. I don't think that's true. Bro, I watch people walk up the court. I watch people take breaks. Bro, and they don't even play all 82 games. They don't even, bro. They'll play 40 games a season, and they're still walking up and down the court. You know why? because they're potheads.
Then joined the Celtics after being taken 3rd overall, Larry Bird decided to return for his final year at Indiana State, a decision that would prove to be one of the most important in the history of the sport. Bird's final year saw the Sycamores tear through college basketball, going 33-0 before the national championship game.
Damn!
Bird, already claimed by the NBA's most historic and prestigious franchise, had established himself as the generational talent who would inherit the mantle of pro basketball.
People are sleeping. It's not easy
Indiana
to go
State's
undefeated
opponent in the national championship was Michigan State, captained by the immortal Earvin Magic Johnson. The Sycamores lost the championship to the more talented Spartans in the highest rated game in the history of basketball at any level still to this day. The stage had been set. The next decade of basketball would be defined by the rivalry between the White Hick from French Lick and his Boston Celtics and the Black Magic and his Showtime Lakers. The rivalry between Bird and Johnson is entwined into the fabric of the NBA and is worthy of 100 documentaries. In this video though, we're going to be looking at Bird's claim of supremacy. Here's Bird's basketball resume.
I don't like how he went from calling him a white hick and the Black Magic to then saying supremacy.
His 3 championships come with perhaps the highest collective degree of difficulty of any player's championships.
Hold on, Team Tommy. I guess I can't really move out the way for you guys. You guys can see everything up to... Alright, it says 12 All-Star selections, 10 All-NBA teams, and 9 times on the first team and 1 time on the second team. How many years did Larry play? I kind of think... Didn't he play 13? But they didn't put his Rookie of the Year on here.
His 3 MVPs came consecutively, making him only the 3rd player to accomplish the feat, along with Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain.
Damn.
His 2 Finals MVPs are misleading. He was absolutely the best player on the '81 Celtics, but he was only a sophomore, and his 15 points per game in the finals gave the media an excuse to exact a little vengeance on a legendarily difficult interview. His All-Star and first-team selections also come with the caveat that Bird only played for 13 seasons and missed all but 6 games of the '89 season following surgeries on both feet. I can hear you already. A 13-year career, and this guy is supposed to be the GOAT? What color of paint are you huffing, Clayton?
Bro, so like, if he didn't...
Green, obviously. But hear me out.
That was kind of wild. But like, damn, so would he have played longer if he didn't have to get so much surgery? I mean, I can't lie too, bro. The like nutrition and like what they do to players' bodies nowadays is completely different than what they used to do back then, bro. I know Bird was just... Bro, I know Larry Bird went on the court after eating a nice steak and mashed potato meal with a beer and just drop 30 on somebody's head. And then he would go back home, have another beer. Today, they're doing, bro. They got what's the hyperbolic time chamber? It's like the cold chamber thingy. Bro, they got a lot of different stuff today. They got technology's insane. They have a lot more than what they had back
Bird's
then.
career lasted about 2/3 as long as it should have. But what he did in that time was so impressive and so substantial that every basketball fan acknowledges that he's in the conversation as the greatest ever. Doesn't it matter that those 13 years saved professional basketball, delivered a disproportionate amount of memorable moments, defined the golden age of the league, and produced a career by which all other forwards, before or since, are measured? Bird squeezed every drop of talent out in those 13 years and made it seem more like 30. He didn't just leave his fingerprints on the game. He left so much of his DNA in the sport that it needed a cigarette afterwards. There's something to be said about the candle that lasts half as long but burns twice as bright. Those 3 MVP years stack up with any other run by any other player.
Bro, 50% field goal. You guys can't. I don't know if you guys can see that, bro. 50%, bro. 89% free throw. This nigga was averaging 10 rebounds a game too. Wow.
It's Larry Bird season up against anyone's. What does an A+ Larry Bird season look like? A full box score, a blowout win, a nearly undefeated record at home, and a play style that could only be described one way: white. Larry Bird isn't just a white basketball player, he's the white basketball player. To describe Larry Bird's game is to thumb through the Hoops dictionary and pick out every cliche about white players. Unathletic, great shooter, good fundamentals, the whole thing. The archetype of a white basketball player is Larry Bird, with one exception. He had an unparalleled understanding of the game of basketball, both as a physical contest and as a mental competition. His basketball IQ infected everything he did and catapulted his career into legend. Bird was a complete player. Jerry West called him nearly as perfect as you can get. He was the league's first great marksman. He could contort his body to shoot from anywhere on the court, regardless of the level of defense. He pioneered the art of the dagger 3 and was the founding member of the 50-40-90 club. At 6'9", Bird's understanding of angles and coordination led to a higher rebounding average than Patrick Ewing, and it made him an impressively adept finisher in his younger years. In '86, Bird dropped 47 points on the Blazers, playing the majority of the game left-handed. His lack of quick lateral movement meant that Bird didn't do much when it came to slapping the floor and picking up the opposing point guard, but his size and omniscience gave him the ability to body similarly sized players.
But I think that's why I never even thought about Larry being the GOAT. Because when you watch him, bro, he does look a little bit unathletic. He really does. He really does. But then you sit and actually watch, and it's like wow, holy moly.
Read defenses like a free safety and pick off passing lanes with ease. His passing was transcendent, and I'll highlight it later. And of course you need to know that Larry Bird was a tough effort. He had a superhuman motor and dove for loose balls like a beagle at the park. He was a willing participant in his share of fights, often precipitated by his league-renowned trash talk.
Larry Bird told Robert Reedy the other day that he should have stayed in preaching. That was funny. He had 50 points.
I was guarding in my rookie year. He looked at me and he goes, "You can't stop me." And I looked at him and I said, "Gosh, boy, you're so confident." He proceeded to score 10 straight points on me. The coach took me out the game. He walks by and he's laughing at me.
He was a basketball genius. He'd be a step ahead,
Damn.
a thought ahead. Play the game like a chess game.
I'd much rather guard Michael Jordan than Larry Bird because you have to play the game as a thinker when you're playing him. You have to get inside his mind.
If you put all of us in a room, Magic, Jordan, myself, and Bird probably be the guy who walks out of the room at the end of the day.
Did you notice something during those testimonies?
You said he got the hands.
Those are some of the best basketball players of all time, and they all sing Bird's praises like they were former assassins who had to go toe-to-toe with John Wick and they're just happy to be alive. Bird excelled during one of the most talent-rich periods in league history. The abridged list of his basketball rivals goes like this: Dr. J and Moses Malone on the Philadelphia 76ers, Sidney Moncrief on the Milwaukee Bucks, Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer and the Bad Boy Pistons, Dominique Wilkins on the Atlanta Hawks, Bernard King on the New York Knicks, Michael Jordan on the Chicago Bulls, Hakeem Olajuwon and Ralph Sampson on the Houston Rockets, and of course, Magic Johnson, James Worthy, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the Los Angeles Lakers. Alright, there's no point avoiding it any longer. We have to look at Magic versus Larry. If you have Magic over Larry, it's because he has 5 rings to Larry's 3, had a peak that lasted about 2 or 3 years longer than Larry's, and had a 2-1.
Bro. Didn't Magic had a lot of help, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I don't know anyone that was on Larry Bird's team unless I'm then shown and then I'm like, oh yeah, he was on the team with Larry. Nigga, with Magic, bro, he had. But I need to stop cussing. But he had Kareem, James Worthy. I mean, I guess they just showed them. He had didn't he have but I forget his name. He's an important guy though. He's an important guy. I just forget his name. Me forgetting his name doesn't discredit him. I forget, but when it comes back to my head, it'll come back to my head. But Magic had help. Magic had a lot of people on his team.
Record against Bird Celtics in the finals. Perfectly legitimate, completely respectable arguments. But in the interest of making Bird's case, allow me to retort. For nearly the entire decade of the 1980s, the Eastern Conference was irrefutably the more competitive conference between the two. Considering the competition, for Bird to have made 5 finals appearances is just as impressive as Magic's 9. As for the head-to-head record responsible for Magic's 2 extra titles, he had more help. Seriously, the Celtics' Big Three and the Lakers' Big Three get compared all the time historically as if they were of equal caliber,
I didn't even know there was a
Magic's
Big Three on the
accomplices
Celtics.
just a step above Bird's? No disrespect at all to Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish, but Kareem was the alpha dog on the 71 Bucks and was the best player for at least 2 of the Lakers' 5 titles. James Worthy was the #1 pick out of UNC after winning a championship as the best player on a team that had Michael Jordan on it. Throw in the fact that Magic got to be coached by Pat Riley.
Hold on, James Worthy and Michael Jordan were on the same team? Nah, hold on. We gotta re-listen to that team, Tommy. That's mind blowing.
James Worthy was the #1 pick out of UNC after winning a championship as the best player on a team that had Michael Jordan on it.
How old was Michael? I mean, if he was a freshman, then that's kind of different than him, being like a junior or something like that. But like, wow.
Throw in the fact that Magic got to be coached by Pat Riley, one of the most brilliant minds in basketball history, and you could say that the Magic Bird argument comes down to one thing: luck. So if their careers come down to luck, the question just becomes who you would rather take. Now, I'm not making this video to tell you why you shouldn't take Magic. I'm making this video to tell you why you should take Bird. Not just over Magic, but over everybody. One thing that helps him is the fact that his play would translate perfectly into the league today. A 6'9" sharpshooting forward with eyes in the back of his head who averaged double-digit rebounds in an era against Moses and Lambeer. He'd gobble up boards as a power forward.
Pause.
He'd be an offensive mismatch against everybody as a small ball center, and his off-ball skills and passing would pair perfectly with the flow of today's game.
His shot is so
Add in his
crazy.
competitive mania and 3 generations worth of medical advancements, and we're talking about a player who could have stuck around so long they would have had to rename the league. As you've been watching these clips of Bird, I would hope that you would notice something. He always knows where everybody is.
Damn!
Watching Bird play basketball is like watching those monsters from A Quiet Place that know where you are if you make any noise at all. Bird had a level of clairvoyance that bordered on the unnatural. In '85, he ended up 1 steal away from a quadruple double after playing just the first 3 quarters. His passing was famously infectious and helped transform the Celtics of the 80s into an ideal that basketball teams at all levels are still shown tape of. They moved the ball with precision and intent, always looking for better shots and determined to get the entire team involved in the effort. That fact is almost entirely attributable to Bird and his wizardry with the ball. This acumen also helped Bird become the only player with a GOAT claim to transition successfully into other basketball roles after his playing career. In his 3 years as the head coach of the Pacers, Bird won a Coach of the Year award, coached the Pacers to their first and only finals appearance.
He was coaching Reggie Miller. That's the team that Reggie Miller was like him on. Team Tommy. I'm getting wrinkles in my brain. We're learning a lot. We're learning a lot, Tomsters.
And gave Michael Jordan as much trouble as he'd ever gotten in his career in the '98 Eastern Conference Finals.
So he was whooping Michael in the playoffs. And then after he retired, he went to coach against Michael Jordan. Not like as Michael was like a coach too, but like he coached a team against Michael Jordan. And they still like were giving him hell.
Coach of the Year award.
Bro, one thing too, bro. They weren't lifting back then either, bro. Imagine a swole Larry Bird. Imagine a swole one. Imagine one that's just cut. Now, granted, you could probably say that about a lot of players, but even like a Luka Doncic, he's not even cut like that. And that's kind of who I like look at Larry Bird to be similar. Like, well, I should say I look at Luka to be similar to Larry Bird, if that makes any sense. Like, it's okay, Team Tommy. It's okay.
Coached the Pacers to their first and only finals appearance, and gave Michael Jordan as much trouble as he'd ever gotten in his career in the '98 Eastern Conference Finals. After moving into a front office role for Indiana, he won Executive of the Year in 2012, becoming the only person to have an MVP, Coach of the Year, and Executive of the Year award.
Damn.
On the court or off of it, inside and out, Larry Bird sees basketball as only he can. That intelligence also lent itself to Bird's defining skill, making the big plays. Remember, NBA players get paid to win games. James Harden is getting paid nearly $40 million this year because he's supposed to help the Rockets win games.
Oh, so this whole
Victory
video
can be achieved in a lot of ways, and the win column doesn't care how it happens. As Mark Sinclair once said,
It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
R.I.P.
but
Paul
when your
Walker.
team is down 1 in a crucial playoff game with 8 seconds left, and you need to hit a shot to stay in the series and keep your season alive, that's where players really separate themselves and earn their money. Love it or hate it, it's the players that come through in the big moments that live forever in our memories. Some players, for whatever reason, were never able to do it consistently. Some players are truly outstanding at it.
Dang!
Larry Bird was the best at it. I'm not going to give you the stats about his field goal shooting under 2 minutes with a score that's this close, or tell you who has the most buzzer beaters, or any of that.
Take that for data.
Huh.
I'm just going to show you clutch moments in clutch situations. 1985 against the Blazers. Bird drops 48 points, including this. Down 1 with 2 seconds left.
Inbound pass to double teaming Bird. Larry, fake, fall away. Hits it! All right!
Was that the play he got the
1985
steal?
against the Hawks. Bird sets the Celtics scoring record with 60 points with shots like these.
They open the right side. Bird the fall away.
Bro, you can't block that, bro.
Best shooting I've ever seen.
1986 against the Rockets. Not all of Bird's clutch moments were singular. The bigger the moment, the bigger his performance. In Game 6 of the 1986 NBA Finals, Bird clinches the championship with a triple-double in what he calls the best game he ever played.
2 seconds on the shot clock.
Dude, oh my gosh. He plays like I played 2K. That's insane.
1987 against the Washington Bullets. Bird hits one shot to tie it before it's waved off because of a timeout. Hits another shot to tie it up for real.
Crowd is standing up. It goes now to Bird. Bird goes up top.
But that's a running.
And
That's
then
a
in
running
double
three.
overtime, down 1, he does this.
It's going to go to Bird. He's got a shot. Get it. It is good. It's a 3-point field goal. And that's that. It's all
Nah,
over.
bro, he's
For 3
him.
years, from 1986 to 1988, the three-point contest knew no other champion but Larry Bird.
Original Steph Curry.
He's still going to drop one here quickly. 14. This is a tie for the money.
Ooh, no, he's hard. He called it before it went
1987
in.
Eastern Conference Finals, Game 5. Tied at 2 games apiece against the Bad Boy Pistons, this enormous game would put the winner 1 game away from the NBA Finals. The Pistons are up 1 with seconds remaining.
Damn.
The ball goes out of bounds off the Celtics. Isaiah Thomas just needs to inbound the ball to win the game.
Now there's a steal by Bird.
That's the play I was talking about. That's the play I was talking about. That's insane.
1 second left. What a play by Bird. Bird stole the inbounding pass.
There are truly too many big games and big moments for me to go through without this ending up as a documentary. But that all leads me to this, what I really want to talk about. 1987, NBA Finals, Game 4 against the Lakers. LA is up 2-1, and the Celtics need to win to tie the series and stay alive. Bird hits a 3 with 12 seconds left to go up by 2.
Great positioning.
Kareem comes down and gets fouled with 8 seconds left. He makes the first, but misses the second. LA ends up with the ball with 7 seconds left, down 1 point.
In the low post, being guarded by Dennis Johnson.
Byron Scott is in the ball game now.
Magic hits this, the baby skyhook.
Magic with a hook shot. With 2.
2 seconds left, down 1.
Dennis Johnson on the inbound. Bird fires it.
What do you think happens? I bet it wasn't that. When I paused the tape and the ball was hanging in the air, you thought it was going in.
I did. I
Bird
did.
thought it was going in. Magic thought it was going in. I've seen this game before, and I still think it's going to go in. But it didn't. Pat Riley said it himself. We got lucky. And that, a missed shot in the NBA Finals, is why he's the clutchest. Because after he makes the big plays, has the big games, hits the big shots, time and time again, you expect him to hit every shot, to win every game. And in those fleeting moments when he doesn't, when he looks like a mere human, when he looks like everyone else who tries to do what he does, you just can't believe it. That's what Larry Bird did. He made the big plays so often you thought he was going to make them every time. He helped turn basketball into a global phenomenon, paving the way for every Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, or LeBron James who comes through our lives. He played basketball in its purest form and captained a team that is consistently ranked among the greatest of all time. He has the second highest win percentage in the history of the NBA, behind Magic by less than 1/2 of one.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful at all, Team Tommy. Bro, is Kevin McHale like, was he that good? Bro, because I'm watching these games and bro, it really only looks like Larry Bird was the only thing to like even like put them close at all. If that's okay for me to say, like I mean, if anything, it kind of makes it look like he was making them better. But this is the thing too. Somebody could say the exact same thing about like if they've only seen. Well, LeBron's bounced multiple different teams, but this is just an example. Like let's say they only see him on the Lakers, they could be like, is Anthony Davis really that good, or does LeBron just make him that good? Nah, Anthony Davis is definitely pretty nice. He definitely like he's not in the GOAT conversation. He's not even. I'm just trying to give an example, but like people would know, like okay, LeBron is definitely obviously like top 5. But was Kevin McHale good? Was he good? Let me know in the comments, Team Tommy, because like I'm gonna keep it a stack. It only seems like Larry Bird was the only thing on the Celtics.
1%, about 10 games. He was the complete package, a player with no holes in his game whatsoever. They called him Basketball
crazy stash.
Jesus. He didn't get that name without doing something extraordinary. He saved basketball, and he did it by playing it better than anyone else. Here's Magic at Bird's retirement in 1993.
Larry Bird said that there would be another Larry Bird one day. And Larry, there will never, ever, ever be another Larry Bird. To the greatest basketball
Luka's close,
player
but he
ever,
definitely not Larry Bird.
But more important, a friend forever.
Aww.
Hey everybody, thank you so much
I
for
need a
watching. This
Mark
was a really
Sinclair
fun video to
tattoo.
make, and I'm going to continue to make
Balls and such. Yeah, that's crazy. Why is he ending it like that?
ballsandsuch.com.
Well, at least he put the ad at the end though. Team Tommy, how are we feeling? Me personally, I feel like this was good information and it was detailed. But this isn't like what's the one video? I think it's called like the best comparison or something like that. Like the one with LeBron and what's the name? LeBron and Michael Jordan. But I can't I want to say Larry's the GOAT. And then I watch Michael Jordan's highlights again, and it's like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. But like, I can't just pull off the stats and pull the records and stuff just off the top of my head, you know. I mean, it looks like it's still up for debate. How are we feeling, Team Tommy? Is Larry the GOAT? Will Larry Bird be Tommy's GOAT? I can't lie, bro. The only reason I don't want to say is Michael Jordan is because of what his security team calls him, bro. Like, if that wasn't even there, I would just say Larry's number 2. But like, I really don't like what Michael got going on over there. I really don't like it, and I don't like what Larry said about Michael. So like, will Larry Bird be Tommy's GOAT? find out on the next episode of Tommy TV. Have a great day, Team Tommy. Love, peace, and chicken grease.